Hey, what's up, guys? Here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right to the show I have for you guys today. We're going to be going over a couple segments we have for you guys. First up, we're going to start with just the in general, the pre-draft of the NHL, and how it was really badly ran. It was to me very stupid. I don't understand where you can have a draft, a lottery pick draft of all the teams, the top 16 teams that are going to be picking, and in the background of the guy that is announcing all the teams, you have basically from the top all the way down to the bottom, there's no changes. So in the NBA and the NFL draft, you have at least some changes, some trades, some nothing. The only thing that was different was at 14, the Penguins was supposed to have the 14th pick, but they traded that to the Sharks in a deal. So the Sharks got that pick, but to me, it just did make no sense as you had the announcer of the draft lottery basically doing the same thing as they were doing before, which was the pre-draft analysis of the lottery pick and seeing where would everything line up. But in all, it's kind of dumb because of the fact is that if you have the NHL, like millions of people are watching the NHL draft lottery yesterday around like 7:30ish or 6:30ish. You can't have in the back screen from 1 to 16, everything is going basically the same way. There's no changes. There's no nothing. So how the hell could anybody really be interested? I mean, if I wasn't watching it with people, I probably would have just shut it off because it was so boring and there was no changes. There was no difference in the draft lottery. It was just the same 16 teams that they were going over were the same 16 teams that we're going over. But that's basically kind of what I was going to go over when it came to just the grand scheme of things of the draft lottery. Was pretty ass on the way they did it. I wish they do it a little bit more of the the NBA and NFL, where you really don't see the teams. You're like kind of like, all right, is there a trade? Is there whatever? And then that's pretty much it. I don't like the way it was ran, and it could be definitely better. But we are on TikTok live right now. Cassius, thanks for liking my my live here. Hurricanes down bad. Yep. Like I told you, you were the one that said Hurricanes were going to win the series. I told you that wasn't going to be happening. Didn't think to be honest we were going to be up 2-0. But to be honest, it's actually not bad. I'll take being up 2-0 after last night's amazing performance by Shesterkin from the third period on. He was incredible. Over 50-something saves in the game. Couldn't match the high save that he had 2 years ago in the playoffs against the Penguins where he had 79 saves. But it was near close to that. And we needed every save in those double overtimes. So I give the hat off to Shesterkin as well as Vincent Trocheck, which got the game-winning goal in double overtime. But the Hurricanes are good. I'll be back when we win 4-2. You guys are not winning 4 straight. I'm sorry, it's not gonna happen. But you can be a great fan and believe in your team, but there ain't no way you guys are winning 4 straight against my Rangers. Not even close. But so we'll talk to that a little bit more down the road when we go over the NHL playoffs. But again, we went over just briefly the draft lottery and what my thoughts on just how it was presented. Was presented very bad. I think it could have been a lot better. But in all, we're going to go over who got the first pick all the way to the 16th pick. So obviously the first pick was the Sharks. They were the worst team in the NHL last season. Obviously the Blackhawks were right behind them. They were the second worst team. Very good. Very big Hurricanes fan, but I've loved Igor. Igor is one of the best goalies in the NHL. What's not to like about Igor Shesterkin? It's not, but okay. But again, Igor, he didn't have the best of games earlier in the season. Just going over just the way he was in general. He didn't have the best of games. He could have been better. But to be honest, it is what it is. He got the dub, and that's all really that matters. But barring that, we had the Sharks get the number 1 pick. Blackhawks get the number 2 pick. Ducks get the number 3 pick. The Blue Jackets got the 4th pick. The Canadians got the 5th. 6 is Utah. 7 is the Senators. 8 is the Kraken. 9 are the Flames. 10 are the Devils. 11 are the Sabres. 12 are the Flyers. 13 is the Wild. 14, Sharks got another pick in the first round from Pittsburgh, like we said earlier. Red Wings got the 15th pick, and the Blues got the 16th pick. Now, the NHL Draft itself will be held in the Sphere in Las Vegas on June 28th and 29th. It marks the first time the draft will be held in Las Vegas and the first ever televised live from the Sphere. Can't wait to see this. Is going to be electrifying to be in the Sphere. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be good. All right, we're back, guys. So, like I said, I wasn't really shocked on the draft order. Kind of figured, I thought the Devils would move up a little bit higher. But again, it was kind of, like I said earlier, it was kind of pretty shitty on the way they presented the NHL draft lottery. Basically, you already knew what teams were going where and what teams were picking when, because they were set it in the back of the screen. When the announcer was giving the okays. So for all the teams. So I think it would have been much better if they would have did like an NBA or NFL style where they just pick it. They know who's picking. Or they just don't show nothing and then they just flip the page and it says, all right, the Sharks are picking 1 or the Blackhawks are picking 2 or the Ducks are picking 3. It would have been much better. A lot of people would have probably tuned into it a little bit more than they did already. But now, moving from the NHL draft lottery, we're going to do something different right now. We're going to be going over QB power rankings in the NFL. I've been meaning to do this for a while. We finally came out with some top 10 power rankings. So I'm going to let you guys know probably the top, I would say, let's see. Let's go over all 32 NFL quarterbacks. So CBS has number 1. I think Patrick Mahomes is by far number 1. They have 2, Brock Purdy. Josh Allen's 3. Joe Burrow's 4. CJ Stroud is 5 coming into next year. 6 is Lamar. 7 is Hurts. 8 is my quarterback, Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. 9 is Justin Herbert. Jordan Love has cracked the top 10. He edges out his former quarterback ahead of him, Aaron Rodgers of the Jets, who are at number 11. Tua Tagovailoa is 12. Jared Goff is 13. Kirk Cousins is 15. Trevor Lawrence is Kirk Cousins 14. Trevor Lawrence is 15. Matthew Stafford is 16. Deshaun Watson is 17. Geno Smith is 18. Russell Wilson is 19. Baker Mayfield is 20. Kyle Murray is 21. You have Will Levis ranked at 22. Caleb Williams is ranked at the 23. Anthony Richardson is 24. J.J. McCarthy is 25. Derek Carr is 26. Jacoby Brissett is 27. Jaden McDaniels is 28. Gardner Minshew is 29. Bo Nix is 30. And Bryce Young is 31. And the worst quarterback ranking is Daniel Jones of the New York Giants. So anybody in here that's a Giants fan, your boy Daniel Jones is last on this 32 power rankings for all quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, let me go. That's what CBS said. Now, let me put a little spin of what I think could be. Again, guys, share the live, like the live, give me a follow. Appreciate all the support, guys. We should be going over what are the QB power rankings and what are my twist on them. Because CBS, they had Tua is not number 1, Tyler. Sorry. Tua is actually He is 12. Tua is 12. And I think that's a good spot. Now let's go over what I think. I think by far, guys, Patrick Mahomes stays at the top. No reason to get cute here. Like the other figurehead of a recent dynasty, Mahomes has adapted according to circumstances, going from big play striker to methodical sharpshooter in a Tom Brady-esque domination of the game. He's the current and indefinite standard of this position. I don't think there's any argue with Patrick Mahomes at number 1. Now, Brock Purdy at number 2 is bonkers. I'm sorry. I cannot put Brock Purdy at number 2. I know he's great. He's no doubt he earns his flowers. But I don't think he deserves to be top 2. I would probably reserve that spot. Yes, you might think I'm crazy, but I'm going to put still Josh Allen at number 2. I'm going to put Joe Burrow at number 3. I understand Joe Burrow had his injury history last year, and all the case and thing, and the Bengals weren't as good. But again, I think he's going to come back this year with a vengeance. And I think Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to try to make a run to try to stop Patrick Mahomes of getting that three-peat. So I have Patrick Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 3, and then comes Brock Purdy at 4. That's how I have it. I don't think you can put it any other thing. I get it. I'm giving him his respect. He is in the top 5. He's at 4. I don't think he's better than Josh Allen. I don't think he's better than Joe Burrow. His team, you could say his team is a little bit better than both of those guys' quarterbacks. But I do not think that, yes, I know, Josh Allen, you got Lamar Jackson. I get that. But to be honest, Lamar, I don't have Lamar outside the top 5. I have Patrick Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 3. I have Brock Purdy 4. You got to respect him. You got to give him his flowers. He went farther into the playoffs. And I'm going to go with C.J. Stroud at 5. I love C.J. Stroud. I'm a Ohio State Buckeyes fan. But C.J. Stroud at 5 is crazy. Lamar Jackson, MVP this year. Couldn't get the job done against Kansas City. And that's why I'm going to put him, not just because of that, but I'm going to put him at 5. His decision-making is very, he has a lapse in decision-making sometimes in big games, and sometimes you can't do it. Brock Purdy, you can't argue. He's done what he's had to do. Josh Allen, he's had decision-making problems. Joe Burrow has done what he had to do. To be honest, if I'm being fair, Joe Burrow's healthy, you would probably put Joe Burrow at 2, Josh Allen at 3, Lamar at 4. Then you would put Brock Purdy at 5. But I got to give it to Brock Purdy. So I'm going to go Patrick Mahomes 1, Josh Allen 2, Joe Burrow 3, Brock Purdy 4, and I'm going to go Lamar Jackson 5. That's the top 5. I don't think you can argue with that. C.J. Stroud had a hell of a rookie year, and I think he's going to be one of the best quarterbacks coming out of college that we've seen in a really long time. He could be the face of the NFL years down the line. So we'll see. But I say C.J. Stroud is 6. I think C.J. Stroud has done enough to crack the top 6. Don't think he's done enough to crack the top 5. I don't think he's better than Lamar. I don't think he's better than Josh Allen. Don't think he's better than Joe Burrow. I don't think he's better than Brock Purdy, and I don't think he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I think Brock Purdy and C.J. Stroud are close. I think C.J. Stroud can eclipse him this year if he hasn't one of those years that he had last year. But we'll wait and see. I have Jalen Hurts. I'm going to take Jalen Hurts at, I don't know. I'm sorry. Jalen Hurts and Dak Prescott, both quarterbacks are in my division. One's my quarterback. I know you're going to say I'm biased here, but to be honest, what I saw from Dak, yes. Is he showing up in the big games? No. Did Jalen Hurts even make it to a big game? No. He got absolutely demolished and his ass handed to him against the Buccaneers in the first round. So I can't really say the same thing for Dallas because we got our asses handed to as well. So it's a toss-up. For me, I'm going to probably lean. I'm going to stick Jalen Hurts, and I'm going to stick him there. I'm going to keep him at 7. I'm not going to put Dak Prescott over Jalen Hurts yet even though overall I think Dak Prescott is the better quarterback, has had the better career. But even though Jalen Hurts has made it to a Super Bowl, I just think overall, statistically wise, I think Dak has had a better career. But I think Dak will be there. I just need to see him consistently. He had a great MVP regular season, and then the playoffs shit the bed. So I don't know. It's very hard. But Jalen Hurts didn't have an MVP type season. I don't know. I might put Dak Prescott. I'm actually, no, screw it. I'm going to put Dak Prescott at 7, Jalen Hurts at 8. That's how I'm going to roll with it. Justin Herbert, I'm going to keep him at 9. I'm going to put Aaron Rodgers at 10. I know Jordan Love surprised a lot of us, and he went crazy. But I don't think he's better than his head he was in Green Bay. I think you got to still give Aaron Rodgers his flowers. I know he's coming off an Achilles injury, but I'm going to put Aaron Rodgers at 10, Jordan Love at 11. I'm going to put Jared Goff at 12 over Tua. I got Tua at 13. I'm going to put Trevor Lawrence at 14 over Kirk Cousins. I'm going to put Kirk Cousins at 15. Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson's a toss-up. I'm going to keep Matthew Stafford at 16. I'm going to keep Deshaun Watson at 17. And then you got Geno Smith and Russell Wilson. I think you keep Geno Smith at 18, Russell Wilson as at 19. I would probably put Baker Mayfield at 19, Russell Wilson at 20, Kyle Murray at 21, Will Levis at I would put Caleb Williams over Will Levis. Put Caleb Williams at 22, Will Levis at 23. I'm going to put Anthony Richardson at 24. I'm going to put Derek Carr at 25 over J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy's at 26. Jacoby Brissett, I'm going to keep him at 27. I'm going to take Jaden Daniels at 28. I'm going to keep him there. Then you have Gardner Minshew at 29. You got Bo Nix at 30. Bryce Young at 31. And Daniel Jones at 32. I think I keep all those guys there. Just barring the fact Daniel Jones on the Giants is not going to last too much longer. I think he's out of there after the next couple years, the next 1 or 2 years. I don't think he's staying that long. But man, we'll see how he goes with Malik Neighbors as they pick the wide receiver in the draft this year. Don't forget, guys, when you join, like my live, go give me a follow and share this live. So yeah, we're pretty much done with the CBS Sports QB Power Rankings and what my thoughts were on it. Now, appreciate it, Tyler. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Now we're gonna go over the NBA. I know every show we've been doing NBA and NHL. We're gonna stick with that. We went over just to recap, guys. If you guys want to go back and look at my show once I posted, we went over the NHL Draft lottery and how it was presented really badly and my thoughts on that and what they should do to change that, as well as when the draft is going to be for the NHL, which is June 28th and 29th in the Sphere in Las Vegas. We also went over who is picking the top 16 picks from 1 to 16 in the draft in the next month and a half, as well as going over the QB power rankings for 2024, NFL quarterbacks, all 32 teams, what CBS picked and what I did, put a little spin on it. And now we're into the NBA playoffs where we had last night the Thunder absolutely demolished the Mavericks. Didn't think that was going to happen. But again, first game in OKC against a formidable opponent in the Mavericks. I thought the Mavericks were going to come out. But I do think the Thunder winning game one was kind of like, all right, we already knew that was going to happen. But Mavericks, they're going to get the second win on Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN. I think they're going to tie up the series to go back to Dallas. If they go down 2-0, they need to win 2 straight in Dallas. It's going to be hard to do that against OKC. Now, Friday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, you have the Timberwolves and there's Nuggets. Nuggets are just in trouble, man. I said Timberwolves was going to win in 6, but to be honest, man, this might be a sweep. After the Timberwolves demolished the Nuggets by 20-something points, I think going back to Minnesota is perfect for them. And if they can get rolling in Game 3 and the Nuggets go down 3-0, this series is over. It's going to be a sweep. So I think it's going to be Mavericks winning in 6 or 7 games. I believe I picked 6 for the Mavericks. I'm going to go with I'm going to stick with Timberwolves winning in 6. But I wouldn't be surprised if it is a gentleman's sweep or a sweep. Now we move to the East side. Tyler, you said Wolves Celtics finals. Would not be surprised. That's probably what I was going with. If you look back on my show on Monday, on Recap Monday, I was saying that I probably would go with a safe bet of Timberwolves. Safe bet if Timberwolves Celtics. What I would love to see would be Timberwolves Knicks. Because we are right here by Madison Square Garden. My Lakers are out of the picture. So I am going for the New York Knicks in the east side of things. And I'm going for the Timberwolves in the west side of things. But would not be surprised if the Knicks get there. The Knicks have what it takes to get there. But at the same time, it really doesn't matter. You still have to play your type of basketball and still stay consistent with it. Now, at Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPN, you have the number 1 Boston Celtics taking on the Cavaliers. Celtics absolutely killed the Cavaliers. It wasn't even close. I do think that the Cavs can tie up the series, but I do also think that the Celtics might go up 2-0 here, and it will push the Cavaliers to win 2 in a row to try to see if they can win or tie this series up against Boston in Cleveland. Now, moving from there, you have the Pacers versus Knicks. That is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on TNT. It's going to be one hell of a game. Knicks are home at Madison Square Garden trying to take a 2-0 series lead over the Pacers. I'm going to take the Knicks taking a 2-0 series lead against the Pacers. I know they had some controversy at the end of that game 1, but the Knicks still got the win nonetheless. I think Knicks take a 2-0 series lead and force the Pacers to come back and win 2 straight in Indiana, which I don't think they're going to do. I have Knicks winning in 5 or 6 games. I have Celtics winning in 5. And then it's going to be a matchup of the number 1 team in the East and the number 1 team and then the number 2 team in the East, where Celtics versus Knicks to go to the finals. It's going to be Mavericks versus Timberwolves to go to the finals. And then I'm going to have Timberwolves probably versus the Celtics on a safe bet, but I would love to see the Knicks get there. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the NBA playoffs. We are currently at 22 minutes and 45 seconds on our show here today. We are now moving on to the NHL, where we had 2 great games in the NHL playoffs. I mean, what a game between the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche just to start off. I mean, Dallas was up 3-0 in this game. How do you lose this game? I'm sorry. How the hell do you lose this game when up 3-0 against the Avalanche? You have to close that game out. In your home court, in your home ice, you got to close it out. If you don't, you give another team life that they shouldn't have. And the Avalanche went into overtime and got the win. Won 4-3 last night to get a 1-0 series lead. That's what Winnipeg did. Winnipeg got the first win 7-6. And then after that, they lost game 2 by a close one, which they should have won, I believe. And then that really just domino affected Winnipeg, and Winnipeg went down the tubes from there. So Colorado's got a 1-0 series lead against Dallas. Dallas definitely desperately needs a win at home next game. If they go down 2-0 going back to Colorado, it's going to be tough for Dallas to even get a win there. Now, we stay in the west side of things, and we go to Vancouver and the Oilers. That game is tonight. It is a first game of this series in round 2. This is going to be an interesting series. You got Connor McDavid and versus the Canucks. Dude, the Canucks are good enough to be in the – the problem is that the way they played against the Predators played better. The Predators should have won that series and should have won those games. They just choked at the end. So I think Vancouver really's got to hold down the fort and really come to play against the Oilers, because if not, Connor McDavid is going to ice and score all over them. It is not going to even be close. So I'm going to take Vancouver, shocking the Oilers at and winning this game 1. I do think the Oilers come back. I think this series goes to 7, and I think Vancouver wins. Dallas, Colorado. I got Dallas coming back in this series and winning in 6. Now we move to the east side of things, where you have the Boston Bruins really took advantage of the Florida Panthers as they won 5-1 in game 1. Boston has a 1-0 series lead in round 2. I think Florida does get the win tonight over Boston to tie up this series. They desperately need it. I think if they go back to Boston down 2-0 at the TD Garden, that is a hard place to play no matter what sport you're in. And I think Florida might have a problem if they go down 2-0 heading back to Boston. Now, they were down 2-0. They were down 3-1 last year and came all the way back and beat Boston. I don't think that's going to happen again. They have to be up in this series in order to win this series. If they go down early 2-0, 3-1, or 3-0, they're not coming back, and they're going to be sent home in the second round by Boston. Now, the Rangers and Hurricanes, right now the Rangers are looking like the best team in the NHL. Even in the playoffs. The only other team that is looking better, is kind of similar to them, is the Colorado Avalanche. I do think the Avalanche can give it can give the Rangers a little bit more of a run because of just the fact the way they play. But I do have the New York Rangers. They are up 2-0 on the Hurricanes going back to Carolina. It is going to be a tough place to play in. They are going to be loud, feisty, and whatever. But man, if we can get a win there, at least one, and then we go back to the Garden to close it out in Game 5, that would be great. And you might guys think I'm crazy, but as a Rangers fan, I want to lose one. I really do. Because if you lose one, you got tested. Last night, we got big time tested. We showed how much grit, how much passion we have for the game to stay in this type of game and to not fold and not lose this game, where any type of way we could have lost this game. We were tied 3-3 forever. It went to double overtime, and we still needed to get that goal. And Vincent Trocheck came up clutch right behind the goal to slap it in as we won the game 4-3 in double overtime to take a 2-0 series lead back to Carolina. I think it's going to be Florida Rangers. I think Rangers win. I'm going to keep it in 6, but I would not be surprised if it's a sweep or a gentleman's sweep. I got Florida winning in 7, 7 or 6. I have Vancouver winning in 7. I have Dallas, Colorado, Dallas winning in 6. And that's pretty much the NHL recap there. I do think the NHL playoffs and the NBA playoffs have been fantastic this year, and it's only just going to get better as the playoffs start shortening because all the teams are going to get feisty and more on top of their stuff, and I cannot wait. It's going to be a great sight to see. Now, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Fire Sports Pod, I'm your host, Zack Jackson. We had a great show for you guys today. I had a great time with you all. Appreciate all the comments. Appreciate the new follows. Appreciate the likes. I appreciate you just coming in here and saying something. I appreciate all that. Appreciate all the followers I've gotten so far. But that would be pretty much it for my show here on the Fire Sports Pod, where everything we do here is fire. You guys know the drill. I will catch you guys on Friday going over more sports in the NHL, NBA, NFL, and just around the sports world. We'll catch you guys there. It's going to be episode 17 on season 3. We are a little bit more than halfway done with season 3. Can't believe it's going so fast. We hit over 100 subscribers on our YouTube show, so I can't wait till we could see it do in the future. Appreciate all the support, guys. Have a great rest of your Wednesday afternoon, and I'll catch you guys on Friday again on season 3, episode 17. I appreciate it again, and I'll catch you guys there. Peace out. Have a great rest of your day.